Arsenal could be offered the chance to sign Paris Saint-Germain forward Randall Kolo Muani next month, but are yet to decide whether to go into the transfer market amid their injury crisis or winger injury crisis. How ironic is it in that, unfortunately, there's injuries at Arsenal. Bukayo Saka's obviously got a long-term injury. Someone who would have been his deputy in Raheem Sterling's picked up a knee injury and misses out on a few weeks. Some of us would have said, could you even recall Reece Nelson next month from Fulham? He's injured as well. It's an absolute madness. I guess, you have to fix the roof while the sun is shining. And, Mikel Arteta, everybody that's connected to Arsenal, everyone that supports Arsenal knew about the lack of depth. A lot of the questions that we needed answers to, people, life is forcing us to find out about it. There's almost not a single Arsenal player that hasn't had some sort of knock this season. We've missed Odegaard, we've missed Saka, Saliba's been suspended, Benjamin White's obviously gone for surgery, and another one we'll see in 2025. Gabriel's missed out. Calafiori, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko have all had knocks. Declan Rice has been in the trenches. Martin Odegaard, if I haven't said that's been in the trenches. There's been very few players that haven't had some sort of injury surrounding them. And we had a clean run with injuries last season. This time we haven't had that, people. Mikel Arteta has said this week that we've got one of the smallest squads. He actually said that at the beginning of 2024. So when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm not saying the club didn't know about these things or go about it, but ultimately we didn't address these things. So a lot of the questions we had going into this season still remain prevalent. Now, PSG clearly want to get rid of Kolo Muani. He's someone that can probably be more suited to playing up front, but he can play out wide. Naturally, it's a case of creative journalism. We all know January is a reactive market. I don't think Arsenal had any real plans to sign anybody in January, even when Bukayo Saka was fit. I do think because of the caliber of Bukayo Saka, this might force them to be a bit creative. I'm not sure of how the loan rules work because we've got Neto and Sterling technically on the book. I don't know if we can get another man signed from abroad on loan or the Premier League. I don't know, people. As you know, Mikel Arteta confirmed Saka is set to be out for many weeks after tearing his hamstring. As we just spoke about there, Raheem Sterling's also picked up a knock. So you've got two players missing out on what is a vital period for Arsenal. The games are coming thick and fast during this festive period, end of December, early January, people. Apparently, the Gunners were not expected to move for a wide player next month, but the sudden loss of both Sterling and Saka could yet force a rethink. Obviously, sorry, people, I'm reading two things at once. The preparation is done and we are ready if something happens. Obviously, we didn't predict a situation with Bukayo and Raheem at the same time. You didn't, but I mean, come on now. You look at the amount of games Saka's played and his durability. I'm not wishing injury on no one, but for a 23-year-old that's played over 200 times and a key player, injuries are part and parcel of a career. It's another hurdle for Saka. Injuries happen, losses in finals happen. We had to, if us as naive fans say, if there's no Saka, what's going on? If there's no Odegaard, what's going on? You lot had these question marks, really. And this is why I say there is some sympathies I have for Mikel Arteta. But where it comes to injuries, whether it's Mikel Arteta, the Kroenkes, anybody who's in charge, including the recently departed Edu, I've got sympathy for the Arsenal players because they're missing out on a teammate. Obviously, I've got sympathy for myself as an Arsenal fan, and I've got sympathy for Arsenal fans. Any injuries and the knock-on effects around that, we've been knowing this. Last season was probably an anomaly, an exception. So the fallout with that, find solutions. You knew once the market closed in September what was required. I mean, considering we missed out on 2 points to City, I don't think we had the summer that made anybody think, wow, we're going to get over the line. And that's probably why we're not probably in Chelsea's spot or where Liverpool are concerned at this moment, in that City are falling off. They're ready to pounce. Hopefully I'm wrong and we win something in May, people. But yeah, he said, you cannot predict that. It's your job as a manager and as a club to predict the unpredictable. In the same way you've gone about signing many defenders because we know we've had to play Saliba, Gabriel and Benjamin White through the trenches. Something should have been done. It's unacceptable, if I'm completely honest. Even the signing of Raheem Sterling, no disrespect to him, but it's on deadline day, which, let's be honest, is a relationship of convenience. We clearly couldn't get what we wanted. Chelsea, I don't know if they had offers for Sterling, but there was clearly nothing forthcoming. He gets to stay in London, play for a big club like Arsenal, get more first-team football than he'd get at Chelsea, which both of it can be described as limited. We get a player that essentially, in hindsight's replaced Reece Nelson on loan, and we get to tick over. So I'm not too sure on that, man. The preparation is done and we are ready if something happens. So that is a key bit for me. We predicted more. It would be something else. For example, something happened in the defensive line, but the job is done. I mean, we've got less bodies up front, regardless of what's being said, especially when you're looking at quality. then okay, if something has to happen, we'll be open. But the main focus is now how we will extract still a lot of potential that's here in this squad. I mean, whether it's Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Trossard, the young Ethan, or anyone I'm missing out, we have to find internal solutions. Kolo Muani's stock has fell on the floor, people, since he signed for PSG from Eintracht Frankfurt. He's clearly not in Luis Enrique's thoughts. We already know January in itself is a reactive window. He's one of them that potentially leaves on loan. Naturally, to be fair, if his agent's doing his job and you sit there and say Arsenal need a striker, you need more attacking options. If your agent's doing his job, he probably offers it to Arsenal. But I don't buy that. I don't think it happens for us, people. But for what it's worth, the Athletic and David Ornstein have said Arsenal have considered Marnie among their long list. I'm not saying he got down to the short list in the past. He was discussed as there were other names before he went to PSG. Since he has been there, I don't know of conversations because he hasn't done particularly well. Facts where Ornstein's concerned. It wouldn't be Arsenal if we wasn't linked with another defender. Apparently, TBR can exclusively reveal that Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester City are interested in signing AC Milan left back Theo Hernandez. It wouldn't be Arsenal if he wasn't being linked with one. Good player. I know we've got other priorities. I'd love another number 8. I'd love a deputy for Bukayo Saka or another attacking option. I'd love a striker. I wouldn't be against Hernandez because I like him as a player. Apparently, he was linked with us in April. Fabrizio Romano said AC Milan had no plans to sell him and initially poured cold water on such. Manchester City are struggling with defensive depth. Chelsea probably need a left back. And there you kind of get it, people. Apparently, Graham Bailey has been informed that Arsenal, Chelsea, and City are being constantly notified about Theo Hernandez's uncertain future at AC Milan. So is his agent playing us? I see it says here he's got 18 months left on his deal, and so far he hasn't extended it. So is this where Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester City are being linked? Is there any real truth into this? What do you lot think, people? I'm not too sure. Apparently, AC Milan would like him to sign a new deal. Clearly, that hasn't gone to plan. Apparently, for several years, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man City have all been admirers. Bayern Munich have been credited with an interest here in the case of Davies leaving. So we'll have to watch that one. And, reports out of Italy say tensions between AC Milan boss Paolo Fonseca and Theo Hernandez could lead to the 27-year-old sale. Real Madrid and Manchester United in this bit have been credited with interest. Bayern Munich are interested in Jamie Gittens and Nico Williams, according to the German media now. Still not confirmed Sane's future. Gnabry could leave. Kingsley Coleman could leave. It makes sense. And, I'm sure the Dortmunds and all the other teams will tell you that Bayern Munich try and bully all of them and get the best players, people. Gittens is finally finding his feet and showing some real consistency. Obviously, he's English. We need a winger. Would you lot have him, people? Apparently, he was already on the radar of Premier League clubs last summer. Williams, as we know, after a long summer where he's playing in the Euros and being linked with several clubs, he ultimately elected to stay at his current employers. Apparently, Bayern Munich have joined Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool in the race for Nico Williams. And apparently, Bayern simultaneously are still interested in Gittens. I mean, everybody's interested in everyone. Everyone's looking at everyone. Whether that goes on to bids and bids being agreed and contracts and stuff is another thing. And they have also just signed Elise as well, people. Kivior, again, easy one to link away from Arsenal. Apparently, court offside claim Arsenal want 45 million. But are we going to get 45 million? I don't know. This article allegedly has said Mikel Arteta has spoken to Jacob and told him that he does not want to let him leave in January and wants to give him more playing time in the coming weeks. Really? I'm not too sure. I mean, Tierney could leave, but you might as well, in my opinion. Offers come, fair enough, but it's come out that Tierney's not going to sign a new deal, be presented with the opportunity to do such. We can see the injuries. For me, Kivior, Zinchenko, Tierney, you can make a case. Even Tomiyasu, I love him, all leaving in the summer and finding replacements or them going elsewhere. For me, we've already got a thin squad that's being means tested from the beginning of the season till now. As I said, you go through the squad, who hasn't been injured? God forbid. Raya ain't had an injury off the top of my head. That's about it, really. Hey, I'm sure Jesus has missed a couple of weeks. I don't know, man. I don't think maybe Ethan and Lewis Kelly. No, Lewis Kelly's had a knock. What? Moreno's had a knock. Saliba's had a no. Saliba might be a lie. Lewis Kelly definitely. Moreno, Partey, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Saka, obviously. Benjamin White, if I haven't said that. Tomiyasu, if I said it, I haven't said that. Who else is there? Odegaard, 100%. Declan Rice has had one. Yeah, the whole team. Trossard's had a knock. So, yeah, the whole team, man. But as I said, I only feel sorry for the fans because we knew this. Apparently, Gyökeres won't be joining Arsenal. People allegedly, we've turned our attentions to Matteo Ritaguri, who apparently, is drawing Arsenal's eye and is currently playing for Atalanta. The 25-year-old is doing quite well. PSG, ironically, are also interested. This article has also said that we've apparently held talks with another striker, and we're still monitoring Isaac. Who knows, people? I'm not too sure, but for what it's worth, Ritugi, apparently Arsenal were in attendance in Atalanta's 6-1 victory in the Champions League against Young Boys. The Italian has 14 goals to his name in all comps, 12 in Serie A. Doing his thing, really. I mean, we should be looking at all strikers from everywhere, people. One man who might depart, and to be fair, we need probably utilize him on the bench as a body. Nathan Butler-Oyedeji, people, 21 years of age, playing in our under-21s, probably needs to go back out and play senior football. Allegedly, he's got an approach from a Swiss club in FC Zurich. Apparently, they've made an inquiry about his availabilities. Arsenal are keen to tie the 21-year-old down, but talks have stalled. I'd love to see him make his debut and get football and just be on there's a good opportunity of you and Kyle Edwards potentially being on the bench as a body. Whether you go and play football, I don't know. If I was him, Kyle Edwards, I know it's difficult to leave Arsenal, but minutes are currency. You need to go somewhere. You're going to get 50 to 100 potentially long-term career games. It's time to leave, in my opinion. But what do I know? Arsenal have also been linked with a goalie, people. Never seen him in my life. But Boca Juniors goalkeeper Leandro Bray, who's a 22-year-old, people, who joined the Argentine club from Los Angeles in 2022. Apparently made 21 appearances, kept 10 clean sheets and 16 and conceded 16 goals in the process. Is he the long-term number 2? Can't tell you how good or bad he is, people. Never seen him kick a ball, but we've been linked with him. Marquinhos could be set to join Cruzeiro in Brazil, people. I mean, 3 million too expensive. Someone that needs to be sold. We need to somehow rip someone off and get our money back. This article has said 5 players who could join Arsenal in January. Yeah, right. Zubamendi would love him. Yeah, right. Even if we activate his release clause, he's going to leave his boyhood club mid-season, yeah. Gittens, Dortmund are going to price you out of that. I would love it to happen, though. And Buemo would love that. Tomorrow, get that done tomorrow. Is he going to leave? Are Brentford going to let him leave mid-season where they're trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve and doing quite well on the table? Liam Delap, his current employers are in a relegation race. The only exception I would say with someone trying to buy Liam Delap is Man City. If they wanted to, they have a buyback clause. But it's all reliant on the player wanting to move at that particular time. We've gone over Kolo Muani. It's easy to link Arsenal with players. If I was a journalist, you could easily say Kolo Muani. I would be making hella articles about Marcus Rashford to Arsenal. I would actually like this one to happen, but Ryan Cherky to sign for us, owing to Lyon's issues. You just look at anyone who's struggling for game time, anyone whose contract's running out. Obviously, make sure if you were making articles about Arsenal, that it's probably a number 8, maybe a striker, and kind of piggy banking off the news with Saka, a winger. Cash money, really. The Nico Williams, all these guys, it's not going to happen in January. We should have done what we should have done in the summer. End of the day, we're at where we're at. Do we make players available? Do we, despite the fact that it's mid-season, people are not going to be as helpful when we're negotiating for their players, do we potentially overpay or present offers that can't be refused? We all know the market is reactive. Contracts are running down. People are being moved on by clubs. In the same vein, not to be disrespectful, how we signed Jorginho and Trossard. Are we attentive to those players? Where are those players, people? I'd love us to wake up in January and Lookman, Kudus, especially Kudus now that no one's on the right-hand side. And if anything, Arsenal probably got players that are stronger on the left than the right, really. But I'd love to wake up and Nico Williams, Kudus, Lookman, even that Gittens, Ryan Cherky for me personally. But whether these things happen in January is another thing. Don't get twisted. I'm more than happy to make videos and do content with you guys. But I think we're all smart enough to know that's a myth, man. So who knows, man? Who knows? You always